Okay, I wanted to make this ThinkorSwim tutorial on the basics to trading options on this platform on ThinkorSwim. It's very straightforward. It's very simple how to trade options, and I'm gonna put some tips in here, some tricks in here to make the process a little more simpler than what it is. I do also have another video, and I'll mention it again as we move further into this video. Another trick to use when trading options with Active Trader. So if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. I'll go more into detail, like I said, a little further on into this video. But in order to trade options with ThinkorSwim or with TD Ameritrade in general, you need to have options trading enabled with your account. If you don't have options trading available, you're not going to be able to get filled with the options that you're looking to purchase or sell. So first off, we have a chart here of SPY. If we wanted to buy SPY, or let's say Apple or maybe even Amazon, instead of buying the actual shares of the stock, we're going to buy the options because we're options traders, right? We take advantage of the leverage we get by trading options. So we're going to use this tool and these options to capitalize on upside moves on the stock or downside moves on the stock, because options, again, are derivatives of a stock. So in order to trade options, I'm going to go back to SPY here. We must hit the trade tab on ThinkorSwim. Now, when you open up the trade tab on ThinkorSwim, you're going to come up with the screen here. You could either type in the symbol you're looking for, SPY, or what you can do is you could hit this symbol link here and link it to one of your charts. So I'm recording this video off my laptop right now, but if you have multiple monitors and multiple charts, you're going to be able to sync a chart with this option grid here. So I synced it to number 1 here. If I go back and sync this to number 1, whatever symbol I type in here, let's say Amazon, if I go back to the trade tab now, it's going to be Amazon. Or if I go to the chart and I want to trade Apple, I'll go back here and this automatically switches to Apple. So if you link it, it's going to be switched to whatever chart or option tab you're looking at. So now that we see the screen here and we have it linked, you're going to see option statistics at the bottom. This is just going to show you statistics of every option contract as a whole. You're going to see if there's more calls today, more put volume bought today. You're going to see the total. You're going to see if they were aggressive, were they below the bid, were they above the ask. So that's good to see how aggressive, because if someone buys something above the ask, that means they're aggressive because they're looking for the immediate market fill price. So they're buying above the ask. Then you can see between the market, and then you can see the deltas. I really don't look at that. I really only look at the total volume with the bid or ask, and if it's above or below it. So to get into buying the options, we have to pick our strike price. So if you guys understand strike prices, you're going to go and pick whatever strike price you're looking to buy, and then you're going to see a drop down with all different strike prices. Now, you're not going to see many at first, but what I do is where it says strikes here, you could hit a drop down, you could go to all the strikes, and if you hit all, you're going to see all the out of the monies, you're going to see all in the monies, so you're going to see pretty much every strike price possible for that expiration. Or you could just narrow it down to, I keep it at 30, or you could go even smaller to, let's say, 20. Depends on how far out of the money you're going or how far in the money you're going. But in this case, let's just call it 30. So now you're going to see 30 strike prices, 30 puts, and 30 calls. So this is for March 20th. This is tomorrow's expiration. I'm recording this video on March 19th. So this is tomorrow's expiration. And as you could see by its tomorrow's expiration is you have this 1 in parentheses here. And what this number resembles is the days to expiration. If you go to the next option expiration, you're going to have 8 days, which is next Friday, March 27th. You could click them, and now you're going to see all those expirations, all those strike prices for the 27th of March expiration. Or you could go down, and down the list, everything in parentheses is the days to expiration, and the dates are those days that those contracts do expire. Now, all the way to the right, we have implied volatility, and that's just the implied volatility, and the number next to that is the amount of points in relation to the implied volatility that the option writers think this contract is going to move. So they think it's going to move 12 points either up or down by tomorrow, by the time it expires. So let's click because we're day trading these options, let's click tomorrow's expiration, and we're going to see all these strikes prices again, right? So automatically ThinkorSwim makes the layout to the last traded price and the net change and how much it changed. I don't like looking at this. I mean, last price is okay, but the net change I'm not really fond of. The last price is just the last price that it was ticked at or traded at. What I do is I make it to volume and open interest. Now, what volume and open interest is volume is obviously how many contracts were traded today. That's volume. And open interest is how many contracts are currently opened. And that just means that how many contracts people have as a position. So if you look at the money contracts, the 250 strike calls, there's an open interest of 10,969. What that means is that somewhere out there, there's 10,969 contracts still open and not closed positions. That's what open interest is. So this will tell you the liquidity of the contracts you're trying to buy. You want to buy contracts that are liquid, obviously, because you want to get a good fill price, and you want to buy contracts that more people are buying because they're going to be influenced by the volatility aspect, and they're going to be more influenced by the price when you're trading the options. So on top of volume and open interest, I also go here, I go to customize, and I add delta to my charts because I want to be able to trade and know what my delta of the contracts is. So for those that don't know what delta is the sensitivity of the option contracts to every dollar increase or decrease in the stock price. So if we look at these 250 strike calls again, for every dollar Apple moves up, these contracts are going to move up 48 cents. So if we were to buy 10 contracts, we would make $480 on a dollar increase in price of Apple stock. Now, this doesn't include other aspects like theta or vega, which influence option premiums, but this is just delta. And my rule of thumb is, this is important, I only really look to buy contracts that have a delta of 0.30 or above. When you go on the put side, same thing. I only look for anything above negative 0.30. And you see negative on the put side because puts obviously make money when the stock is coming down. So you puts will automatically have a negative delta, but that doesn't mean the contracts go down by a negative number. Those mean they go up that number. So if you're looking at a delta on the 245 puts of negative 0.38, these contracts that are bid 390, ask 405 are going to go up by 39 cents for every dollar the stock moves up. So if we wanted to buy, let's say, the 250 strike calls, we can click the ask on the calls. When we're looking along an option, you click the ask. So if we wanted to buy the puts, you click the ask. If you wanted to buy the calls, you click the ask. And that's going to bring you an order entry. So on the order entry, you're going to see what side you want to buy on. You obviously want to be on the buy side, not the sell side, because we're not writing contracts. We're buying first. Then you could go by quantity. So if you want to buy 5 contracts, if you want to buy 1 contract, you just change the quantity. Or you can change it by position sizes. You want to put 100% of your position size in the security. Or you could do it by dollar amount. And ThinkorSwim will automatically buy as many contracts as you're allowed to the dollar amount that you enter. So if we put $506 in and the option's trading at $4.65, we're obviously only going to be able to buy 1 contract because you have to times this by 100, which is going to be $475. You have expiration, which we're not going to change. You have strikes, which we're not going to change. And you have the type call you're not going to change. The reason why we don't change this is because we clicked the 250 strike calls for this expiration. So this doesn't change. Now price is what you're going to have to change. So you're going to look at the bid and the ask. And if it's a tight bid and the ask, you can limit order at the ask. You can market order. You could change whatever order you want compared to what the bid and the ask is. But let's say the bid and the ask spread is 50 cents or 60 cents and you don't want to lose a lot of money on the slippage. You should limit order to a price that you're comfortable entering at. This spread's only 5 cents, so I'm comfortable hitting the ask. Or I'm comfortable maybe lowering it 5 cents and getting maybe a bid fill or in maybe a mid-price fill. So you could adjust it here. I have a video on my channel, which is an option trading trick on ThinkorSwim. I suggest you to go check it out. I'll link it in the description. It's a trick to bypass this whole screen right here, this order entry screen, and you can really buy an option with one click of a button. And then I'll briefly introduce that into this video, but I have a whole nother video explaining that. And then you can select day or good to close, how long you want your order to last for. Do you want it to last for the whole day? Do you want to last for the close? It's good to close. So let's go out of here. I am going to show you real fast the trick. So I'm going to close out of Apple. I'm going to unlink it. I'm going to close out of Apple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click a option. I want to buy the 250 calls. I right clicked it. I hit copy. Now when I copy it, I can paste it into a normal chart, right? And I'm going to see this is now the option chart of Apple, of the 250 strike calls for tomorrow's expiration. So what I can do is I can select active trader. And now what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to adjust my quantity on here. I'm going to be able to hit auto send, and I'm going to be able to get a fill price without even have to go to the screen after my option contract is dragged into the chart. So, like I said, you have a 495 or now 485 by 470. If I put this option in here, I can now buy a limit at 490 or 480. And it'll auto send, and I can adjust my quantity on here, or I could buy market it. But if I click this, it's going to automatically fill me at that price if it does get filled. So this just bypasses this option trading screen. Now I have a video on this. I really recommend those that are watching this video to go check that video out, because this will bypass, like I said, this screen, and it'll make you get quicker fills, better executions, and you're going to be able to adjust your price quickly without having to go back and forth between different tabs.